I've already invested a whopping $60,000 into just ensuring your happiness. Yet how could you reduce me to merely a wallet or an ATM? I don't recall ever soliciting your assistance. Lily, Max's wife, scoffed with a sneer. Why don't you try halting the payments if you're so bothered? After all, I'm quite the big shot. I can easily handle it myself, added Max, his tone equally dismissive. Even Max, my eldest son whom I've raised, behaves in this manner. After coercing me into covering the expenses for a $20,000 engagement party and a $40,000 wedding, they have the audacity to treat me like this. They only see me as a cash cow. I must have made a mistake in raising my son. I'll never allow them to push me around again. I've heard you loud and clear, responded Chloe. Are you sure about that? You know we won't let you see your grandchild, right? Max threatened. You don't have to. I'd be more than happy to cease the payments, Chloe retorted. From that point on, Max and Lily experienced a swift downfall. They had been treating Chloe like a money tree. My name is Chloe. I'm 56 years old. I've been struggling alone ever since my husband passed away 12 years ago. Between my job and raising my 2 children, I've always had my hands full. I'm currently an executive at a decent company, which I've been with since before I got married. To the outside world, I guess you could call me a career woman. The children, who were high schoolers when my husband died, have now graduated college and are working. So I'm a bit relieved. I just wish they'd settle down and start their own families soon. While contemplating these thoughts, Chloe lived alone comfortably in the condominium that she used to share with her children. Then, one day, Max called her, saying, I want to introduce you to a woman I'm thinking of marrying. Delighted, Chloe agreed. Max, who turns 28 this year, works for a large corporation as a salesman. Although he has been a bit of a playboy, it seemed like he was finally settling down. On the day he was to bring the woman he was planning to marry, Max said, Mom, long time no see. This is my fiancée, Lily. Lily was a receptionist at the company where Max worked. She was strikingly beautiful, and Chloe felt proud of her son for finding someone like her. Oh, congratulations to you both. I'm here to support your happiness, Chloe beamed. As their conversation progressed, the topic of the engagement party arose. We're planning to have an engagement party soon. I need to start preparations. Mom, could you cover the $20,000 cost for the engagement party? I was taken aback. I had assumed the average cost to be around $10,000. However, seeing their joyful expressions, I couldn't bring myself to refuse and agreed. Of course, it's a joyous occasion, I thought to myself. Later, my eldest daughter Mia came to visit. Mia, how's work going? The deadline was yesterday, I inquired. I'm managing well, so don't worry, Mia replied. Mia is a manga artist. While she hasn't achieved a major success yet, she has her own series and manages to sustain herself. She has always been talented at drawing and has a deep passion for manga, making it the perfect career choice for her. By the way, Mom, isn't Max getting married? Maya asked. Yes, he came by the other day with his fiancée Lily to introduce her. They've asked for $20,000 for the engagement party, I explained. Wow, $20,000 is quite a hefty sum, Maya remarked. It's not just for the party. Apparently, they're planning to allocate it for their wedding funds, and as tokens of appreciation, I clarified. On the day of the engagement party, I handed them the promised $20,000. Both Lily and her parents looked overjoyed. We'll use this to begin our new life together, they exclaimed as they tucked away the money. There were no gestures of gratitude as I had anticipated, but I reassured myself that this was customary for engagement parties. As long as they could embark on a happy marriage, I reasoned it was worthwhile. However, a few days later, Max dropped a bombshell. I've won a grand wedding with numerous guests and connections invited, perhaps around 250 people, he announced excitedly. That sounds splendid, I replied. And with that, Mom, I'd like to ask you to cover the upfront costs of the wedding, Max requested. I was taken aback by the request. I had always believed that weddings were primarily funded by the couple themselves. I'm counting on you, Mom, Max insisted. It's pretty standard for parents to pay for the wedding. But didn't I already contribute a significant sum for the engagement party? I questioned. Lily's parents are frail and unable to contribute, and I'll make sure you're reimbursed for the wedding gift, Max assured me. Reluctantly, I opened the bill Max had brought. To my shock, the amount was $40,000. The idea of such a hefty upfront cost made my head spin. How extravagant of a wedding are they planning? I wondered aloud. Wait a minute, isn't this a bit excessive? Why not have a wedding within your means? I suggested. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event and Lily doesn't want to compromise. Plus, don't you want Lily's parents to see how happy she is? Max countered, cornering me. Feeling pressured, I couldn't bring myself to refuse. All right, it's indeed a joyous once-in-a-lifetime occasion, I conceded. Seeing my consent, Max smiled and thanked me before leaving the room. Later, I transferred the upfront cost of $40,000 to the wedding venue. It was difficult to part with the money I had been saving for my retirement, but I reassured myself that it was for my child's happiness. 2 months later, on the wedding day, the venue was more luxurious than I had anticipated. Mia and I arrived early in the morning to change into our dresses and get our hair done. As I approached the bride and groom's dressing room to knock, I overheard their conversation. I can't believe we're able to have such an extravagant wedding. All thanks to Mom, Lily exclaimed. Absolutely, and she even gave us $20,000 for the engagement party. I even managed to buy a new bag. What a great wallet, more like an ATM. Let's keep withdrawing from it, Max, Lily joked. That's a bit mean, Max replied, but Lily continued, ignoring his protest. Stunned, Mia and I continued to listen as Lily gleefully said, If we ask her, she'll probably cover the rest of the wedding costs, right? Of course she will. Leave it to me. Then let's use the wedding gift for a honeymoon trip to Hawaii. And of course, we'll take my parents along. How about buying a high-rise apartment for our new home? That sounds perfect. Let's get my mother to cover the cost. She does have the money after all. The hand I raised to knock on the door was trembling. Mia held my shoulder and led me away from the door. Breathing slowly, I took Mia's hand that rested on my shoulder and said, Mia, there's something I need you to look into when the ceremony starts. Of course, Mom. Leave it to me, Mia reassured me. And so Max and Lily's wedding began. Throughout the ceremony, their vows in the chapel, and the toast at the start of the reception, all I could think about was the conversation the two of them had earlier. Presenting the groom's mother, Chloe, even as the MC introduced me and a spotlight fell on me, all I could muster was a bow. Mia, who had been making the rounds toasting, came back to me. Mom, I checked with Lily's relatives. Both of her parents are perfectly healthy. That's horrible. We need to confront them. I'll be right there with you, I assured Mia. As Mia said this, it was time for the first wardrobe change. Lily exited first, then it was Max's turn. Now the groom will exit, escorting him is his mother, Chloe, who raised him single-handedly, the MC announced. Called upon, I walked down the aisle to meet Max. A little tipsy, Max was in high spirits, announcing into the MC's microphone. This is my amazing mom. Keeping a straight face, I acknowledged the cheers from the crowd. I walked beside Max as we exited the hall and headed straight to the dressing room. Mia was already there, and she spoke to Max. Max, there's something I need to ask you. What is it, sis? Make it quick. I need to change and get back, Max replied curtly as he undressed. I heard the conversation in the dressing room earlier. How could you talk about Mom like that? Mia confronted him. Huh, you were listening. Well, whatever, Max shrugged, seemingly unfazed. As we were taken aback by Max's attitude, Lily, who had already changed into her dress, came in. Mother-in-law and sister-in-law, what's going on? She inquired. Mia pounced. We found out that your parents are healthy. They both have good jobs. Why are you making our mom pay for everything? What's going on? What is this, some kind of sister-in-law bullying? Lily retorted, appearing shocked. My patience snapped at her mocking attitude. I've already paid $60,000, hoping for your happiness. And yet you treat people like their wallets, ATMs. What kind of language is that? I exclaimed. Hearing this, Lily laughed as if it was a joke, acting all high and mighty. For such a small sum. We're not in your debt. Besides, it's normal for the groom's parents to pay for the wedding, right? But you lied about your parents being ill to buy a new bag, Mia pointed out. Oh, you were eavesdropping? That's a terrible hobby, Lily scoffed. Watch your mouth, Mia, I warned, feeling angry at Lily's dismissive attitude. Lily then looked at Mia. I don't want to be told off by an older sister who is still single at 30, doing some weird job as a manga artist. It's because you're such a nerd that you can't get married. That's right, you're hopeless. When it comes to marriage, Sis, Mom, if you want to see your grandkids, don't speak rudely to us, Max asserted. Mia was stunned speechless. How dare you speak to me like that? I tried to scold them. But Max laughed and responded, if you're going to talk like that, try stopping the payments. After all, I'm in a light. I can easily handle it. Well, it'll be a shame to lose the cash cow, Lily chimed in. I had already paid $20,000 for the engagement party and $40,000 for the wedding. And this is how they repay me. No gratitude, only cruelty. I must have gone wrong somewhere in raising my son. I'd had enough. I wouldn't be manipulated by them anymore. I've heard all you have to say. Are you sure about that? If you don't listen to us, you won't see your grandchild. Max threatened. But I firmly responded, that's fine. You don't need to bring him over. I'll gladly stop the payments. Max and Lily just stared at me, stunned. I'm severing our ties here. I wish you all the best with that, I declared, taking Maya's hand as we left the venue. The joyous noise of the reception was still audible as we departed. A month later, as Mia and I were enjoying some tea at home, the intercom rang with a shrill tone. Oh, Mom, it's Max. What should we do? Maya asked. Let him in, dear, I replied. Max, whom I hadn't seen in a month, looked remarkably worn and tired. Why the sudden visit, Max? I inquired. Mom, you must have received the bill for the wedding venue by now. Why haven't you paid? Max asked. Huh? Oh, the bill for the remaining balance. It was $45,000, right? It arrived, but I have no obligation to pay it, I stated firmly. Don't be like that. In the end, we didn't receive many wedding gifts and couldn't pay the bill, so now we're in debt, Max confessed. At that, Mia laughed and commented, from what I overheard at the wedding. It seems you two have quite a bad reputation. You, Max, have been throwing your weight around at work, doing haphazard jobs, and Lily, you've been putting down other women, flaunting your looks in marriage. I can see why people wouldn't want to give wedding gifts to people like you, Max retorted sharply. Hey sis, stay out of this, I interjected, feeling a sense of frustration. It's not just me you haven't been considerate of, it's everyone around you. The wedding expenses are your own doing. Please pay them yourselves, I pleaded. Mom, I'm in a bind here. Lily can't control her spending, and even her parents have started to take advantage of me. Lily's love of money isn't exactly a new revelation, Mom. Plus, having seen Lily, I can easily imagine her parents behaving the same way. Please, Mom, think about helping us. Give us some money, Max begged desperately. To Max's desperate plea, I sternly replied, you were the one who said, I'm in a light. It'll be a piece of cake, and told me to stop making payments, weren't you? And didn't you say that we were severing our ties? I have no obligation to give you any more money. Mom, don't call me Mom. I don't want to be called that by someone who has only ever seen me as a cash cow. To be honest, I'd like you to repay me for the wedding and the engagement party, but I'll write it off as a settlement payment. Now please leave. Max, who had looked shocked, now had a malicious look on his face. Hey, are you really okay with this, Mom? Cutting ties with us like that? How will you spend your old age without a husband? Don't you want to see your grandchild? He pressed. Before I could respond, Mia intervened. Don't worry about that. I will be by Mom's side. And what can an unsuccessful comic artist like you do? You can't even have children, she taunted. Shut up, Max, I finally snapped, feeling the anger boil inside me. Max was frothing at the mouth with anger. Ah, so scary. Sure, you mock me as a failed manga artist or an otaku. Yet my manga was among the top-selling shoujo manga this year. Did you know it's set to be turned into an anime and a movie next year? Safe to say I'm in a much better financial state than you and your debts, Mia revealed confidently. At this point, Max noticed something. Hey sis, that thing. This, he pointed to Mia's left hand. Oh, you noticed? Yes, that's what's happening. Mia smiled as she flashed the ring on her left ring finger. I'm getting married to my editor. He's a big shot at a major publishing house, a real high flyer. So we can take care of Mom. We don't need you anyway. We never intended to have our children care for us. Thanks, Mia. We're having a wedding, but we'll handle everything ourselves. We'll invite Mom, Max, but you don't need to come, Mia declared confidently, leaving Max stunned. I said, did you get it now? Never bother us again, I declared firmly, pushing Max towards the front door along with Mia. "Please." "Mom, and you too, sis," Max pleaded. But before he could finish, something came to mind. "What are you going to give us, money?" Max asked eagerly. Upon hearing this, I turned to him with a stern expression. "That director at your wedding. Turns out, I didn't know, but he's a client of my company. It seems you're hiring, and all your undeserved privileges were out of consideration for me." I told him to stop that though. "What, you didn't hear about this? Stop it. Please handle it on your own now." "Goodbye," I said firmly as Mia and I pushed Max outside and firmly locked the door. Max made a fuss outside, but after ignoring him for a while, it became quiet. A year passed since then. Right after that incident, I sold the house to avoid Max and Lily's visit and bought an apartment with elderly services for my old age. According to a neighbor from my condo, Max and Lily showed up and created a scene, asking why I wasn't there. Hence, I believe my decision was the right one. As for Max and Lily, they abandoned their dream of a luxury high-rise apartment and now live in a cramped space. Max, it seems, was demoted after his actions were reviewed. Perhaps hurt from falling from his elite status, Max worsened his attitude towards others. It's surprising he's not fired yet. Lily, who quit her job upon marriage, continued to splurge for a while, but their funds quickly ran out. Even with their debts, Lily's luxurious habits did not change, and her parents continued to demand money. Apparently, they quarreled daily. I hope the two learn the hardship of earning money and appreciate the people around them and grow up, though that might be too much to ask from them. I still maintain a good relationship with Mia. Mia's husband is a good man who treats me well, and they are expecting a baby. I plan to spoil my lovely daughter and grandchild, and looking forward to it keeps me working every day.